What are men's incentives for getting married? There's been a lot of the comments on a couple of videos I've done recently. One video I did on divorce and on what men get out of marriage, and pretty surprised at how black-pilled everybody is. A lot of the comments I got were just stay single men, even from some women. Stay single men get hosed in divorce. A little disconcerting. And one of my, I don't know, it was a follower, just someone that watched the video, I was going back and forth with a little bit yesterday, and it was, what do men get out of marriage, or what are the incentives for men to get married? And it's a viewpoint that I had for a long time. I never had the anticipation of getting married and stuff. It wasn't that it was like my parents like discouraged me from it or anything like that. I mean, they stayed married, and all my friends' parents were married for the most part. But I don't think things were as bad then as they are now. And what I mean by that is, this person I was going back and forth with in the comments, I asked them, I'm like, well, what should we do about this problem? And first thing he brought up was no-fault divorce. He said a DNA test at when kids are born, which that was a lot of the comments were how unfaithful women are. And that was really surprising to me, because you gotta remember, I haven't been in the dating market for 22 years. You know, my wife and I have been together. So it's been a long time since I've had to deal with any of these topics. And I can't think of, the only girlfriend I can think of, and I don't even know if I'd even really consider her a girlfriend, that had ever cheated on me. I mean, she was a stripper. I mean, and I kind of knew that she was no good when I was seeing her. And I told all my buddies that, hey, if anything happens between y'all, just tell me so I can cut off the relationship. And that's what happened. One of my buddies and her ended up hooking up. And that was the end of that. That was the end of it. So, yeah, I mean, what are the incentives for men to get married when it's so risky? You know, that was a lot of my views when I was younger, was why does, you know, my wife and I were together for like 9 years, 10 years before we actually got married. Hold on real quick. My dog, he wants me to throw his ball. Come on, Tucker, dog. Go get it. My wife and I were together for like 9 or 10 years before I actually bit the bullet and decided to marry her. And I was just always under the view of, why do I need to get the government involved in my relationship? Because now that they're involved, if things don't work out, you know, it's going to cost me a fortune. It's going to, yeah, it's just such a headache to get divorced. And I mean, I guess it's really just the financial aspect of it and stuff like that. But I'm pretty committed when I make an agreement. You know, if I decide to do something, I'm going to do it right. And me and my wife have been through a lot of bullshit, and there should have been plenty of times, I don't say should have been plenty of times, but there's been plenty of reasons or times that we could have gotten divorced, and it would have been, I don't want to say valid, because, you know, it's till death do us part. You're supposed to stick through it all, through thick and thin. And I think people nowadays just don't take that seriously. And people are just immature when it comes to it. You know, it's like breaking up. Things aren't working out. I mean, a lot of divorces, I hear people aren't even together for a full year. I think there's a statistic that says, most weddings cost like 30 grand or something like that. And it takes about 5 years to pay off the wedding. Most people are divorced before they're even done paying off their wedding, which is insane. I mean, that's completely insane. And I think a big part of it is feminism has ruined the views women have and the goals women have. My wife curses feminism all the time. You know, she works, I've done a video talking about her being a boss babe. You know, she's a manager of a bunch of people at her company. I mean, she works from home, you know, she's on her computer all day, but she hates that she has to work. And it was encouraged from both of us. You know, we had a conversation with my mom a little bit about this the other day. And my mom even was like, yeah, you know, I was encouraged to go to school and get a job and do all these things instead of just being a mom. And fortunately, my mom never, she was going to school to be a nurse for a little bit when I was younger. I remember her doing all the schooling and stuff like that. But I think I was just such a handful and a troubled kid that she had to stay home and take care of me. And in case the school called and I had to get sent home for whatever reason. So, I mean, she did work odd and end jobs, but, you know, talking to my wife about it, she tells me about her mom was hardly around when she was younger, and her dad was the one taking them to, you know, doctor's appointments and dentist appointments. You know, he worked graveyard, and her mom was this super ambitious career woman wanting to work in healthcare. So, you know, my wife says a lot of her growing up was spent with, I know she said she had a nanny for a little bit, which, you know, women, you really want some low wage woman raising your kids, you know, versus you being there raising your kids. You know, I know now we live in this 2-income society, but that's another thing that women, or, you know, feminism pushed, was that you don't need no man. And I think that's a reason why these divorces become so easy to these women, is they have their own job and their own income, and they just feel like the relationship is expendable and they can just do it without him, instead of looking at it as, you know, a team, you know, a partnership. I'm in it through thick or thin. You know, he goes to work all day and provides. I take care of the house chores and the kids. And I mean, I don't know, women, you know, I don't know how many female viewers I have, but what do you guys think? Would you guys rather be working all day rather than being home, raising your family, taking care of your kids, you know, cooking dinner? Yeah, I don't know. I definitely think that feminism has made things a lot worse for marriage, and for this whole boss lady mentality has made things that, you know, men have no incentive to get married now. You know, she's got a job, she has a career, she doesn't need me. At this point, I think people are only in relationships to have sex, as opposed to working together and starting a family and starting the next generation of people, you know. It's really unfortunate. And I was guilty of it for a long time. I'll be honest with you. A lot of these views I've been talking about are stuff that I really kind of just opened my eyes to as of recently. Even though I've been already kind of operating in this way, far as not finding any excuse for our marriage to split up, or working together as a team. Now granted, I've never been the sole provider, but I've always had a job. We've always worked together as a team. I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? What are men's incentives for getting married these days? Because I'll be honest with you, it doesn't seem like they have a lot. Especially with dating apps and stuff like that. If men are only in it for sex, they can get that online now. It's pretty easy, I guess. Like I said, I've been out of the dating game for a long time, but it sounds like it's pretty easy just to go online and find a hookup, and there's no incentive to start families. There's no incentive to stay together through thick and thin. I think, I think this feminist movement have made a real mockery of marriage and traditional values and stuff like that, and we need to encourage more women to want to start a family. And most couples, when they get married, the women are the ones holding the school debt. The majority of school debt is held by women, and they're coming into marriages with $50,000. It's like the average of $50,000 in student loans. It's a rough way to start a marriage. So I don't know. I mean, tell me what you guys think down in the comments. What could we do to incentivize women to want to get married? Apparently women to be faithful. That wasn't like a non-issue when I was younger, was your girlfriend being faithful to you. And how we can incentivize men to want to get married and start a family. And because we're in a population crisis right now, people. I know everyone thinks that our planet is overrun, but we're in a population crisis. We don't have the next generation of people to take care of the older generation. We don't have enough people to keep just society functioning the way it is if nobody's having kids. That's a big reason for this wave influx of immigration, is to replace all the people we're not replacing. So yeah, it's been a topic that's been talked about quite a bit lately, and it was a conversation I was having with my mom and my wife the other day, and I didn't realize my mom she's opened her eyes to a lot of this stuff now too, and she feels the same way that I've been feeling about all this, and how she, like I said, she pretty much was a stay-at-home mom. She did work odd and end jobs here and there. But she sees the same way. My sister went to college. I'm sure she has a bunch of student loans. And I think right now she actually is the sole provider of her household. Her husband's a vet. I know he gets veterans stuff, but I think he's going to school. I think he's going to take his CDL license. That's another thing we're in short supply of, are tradesmen. All you men out there that are thinking about going to college to become some, get a degree in whatever business or this, that, or the other, you need to get into the trades. The trades are paying really well right now because we have a huge shortage of it. And it's a lot cheaper to go to a trade school, or even better, just find somebody that's willing to teach you. I've been a fabricator for the past 25 years, and eventually there was a fabricator school that opened up for, building off-road stuff. And we would get guys that would come into the shop and say, hey, I don't want to name the school, but I went to this school and I graduated, or I'm about to graduate, and we would shoo them away because that school didn't teach them anything. They just I tell them all the time, You'd have been better off coming in here saying, I don't know anything about welding or bending tubes or suspension geometry, but I want to learn. Can you please teach me? You'd be better off getting a job that way than coming in telling me you went to one of these ridiculous schools that didn't teach you anything about the industry. So to all you young men out there, go be ambitious. Go get into HVAC. Go become a plumber. Go become an electrician. Because there's good money in it, especially right now because the trades are in such short supply. And you can raise a family on a tradesman income. Just one piece of advice I will give you is don't stay labor the whole time. Work toward becoming a journeyman. Work toward becoming an owner. Work toward becoming a guy that reads plans or designs plans, the schematics for the layouts of the wiring in the house and the plumbing in the house. Because when you get to my age, making a living with your hands gets hard. It's tough. I'm fortunate that a few months ago I got out of doing, fabricating and stuff like that. And now I got kind of a kickback job. But it allows me more time to make these videos for you guys. And to be honest with you, now when I was younger and I was first getting into it, every waking second I was building something or working on something. And after 10 or 15 years of doing it, you kind of don't really take the time to do anything you want to do. And then you eventually don't want to do anything outside of work, repairing something on the house or fixing something in the garage or things that you do it, you rush through it because you just want to get it done. And now I find myself wanting to go out in the garage and work on things. There's a bunch of stuff I want to do to my boat that I've been putting off, and now I'm excited about doing all the things on my boat. Those skills, learning those skills and learning how to build things and how to work on things, they come in handy. So I don't know, tell me what you guys think. I'm enjoying all the comments. A lot of my videos are coming from comments and responding to, conversations I'm having. So tell me what you guys think. Tell me what I got wrong. Tell me what you guys think we can do to do better and fix this this issue we're having between the sexes, because it's pretty bad apparently. And I guess I'm oblivious to it because I'm old and happily married and, family man. All right, let me get back inside. I think I'm gonna go work out a little bit.